With a song that I heard played on this very stage by its author. It's a monologue from a play that I've been working on. It's a true story about picking up a hitchhiker on his way to Kerrville. So, where are you headed? I don't know why I asked you that. You're standing there on the side of the road, you're carrying a sign that plainly says Kerrville, and I have to ask you where you're headed. You know, sometimes I wish we all walked through this life carrying a sign that said where we're headed. I guess now that I think about it, we do carry one that says where we've been. You just gotta know how to read it. But that's a different story.
Living on the road, my friend, is gonna keep us free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, your breath is hard as kerosene. You watch your mama's only boy, but a favorite one it seems. She starts to cry as you say goodbye. You sink into your dream.
Turn left on Texas 16, then continue on till it turns into the Medina Highway and your destination will be on the right. That's a GPS. Now, who would have thought that 10 years ago that I'd have a global positioning satellite pointed at my car and I'd like it? No, I'd pay for it. It's kind of a sign that announces where you are. So now we've covered where you are and where you're headed. The only question remains, where are you coming from? Oh, West Texas? I like it. Out there, isn't that where they filmed the Roadrunner cartoons?
Pancho was a bandit boy, rode a horse fast as polished steel. Wore his guns outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, in the deserts down in Mexico. No one heard his dying words, but that's the way it goes.
Oh, the music? That's Sirius Radio, Sirius satellite radio. I like it out here in the middle of nowhere. You never know what you're gonna hear. Like, you might hear Paul Benoit. Sometimes it sounds like he's right in the car next to you. I think it's funny, though, that they call it Sirius, named after the dog star. You know what I'm talking about? The brightest star in the sky? At least it used to be the brightest star in the sky. Now, I'm not making this up. The brightest star in the sky is the Nortel satellite. The very thing that Sirius Satellite is named for has been given second-class citizenship by the Sirius Satellite itself. One of nature's greatest feats has been replaced by something man-made, like Barry Bonds beating Hank Aaron's home run record. Oh, sure, they name it Sirius to honor its casualty, but to me, it feels like naming your sports team the Washington Redskins, or your subdivision Nez Perce Estates, or your town Taos, or your state Dakota, or your method of traveling across the high plains in search of buffalo wings, a Winnebago. The only thing I know for sure is there aren't too many Delaware Indians living on Manhattan Island who can get the Shawmut Bank to give them a loan for a Cherokee.
They could have had him any day. They just let him fade away. Out of kindness, I suppose.
Next to the moon and the sun, nothing in the sky has been written about more than that star. The Egyptians based their calendar on it. They used it to predict whether it would be a hot summer or a cold winter. As for me, I use the Sirius satellite for the Weather Channel.
Lefty, he don't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dust that Pancho bit down south, it ended up in Lefty's mouth. Gave that little Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the dough to go. Well, that nobody knows.
Oh, I like this station here. They call it Disorder. They'll play anything as long as it's good. Like you might hear Rachmaninoff played next to the Cramps, or Public Enemy played next to Ann Feeney. It's because if it's good, it lasts. It's like evolution. It's like say you were an ape or a bird or a jellyfish, and you're good at being an ape or a jellyfish. The odds are you're still here. There ain't no order to it. You can't look at the stars and predict a pattern like when you stare at the wallpaper in a Cracker Barrel. I mean, sure, the stars are wallpaper, but they are God's wallpaper, and God does not shop at Home Depot. Though he does occasionally hire Mexicans out of the Home Depot parking lot just to piss off Sarah Palin.
All the fellow riders say they could have had him any day. They just let him get away. Out of kindness, I suppose.
Oh, you're right about part of that. Texas is big, but I don't think it's ugly. In fact, I think it's beautiful. I think Texas has so far surpassed the zenith of ugliness that it is in fact flawless. It is perfect, even if it is perfectly ugly. And you can't argue that perfection in and of itself is not beautiful. It's just kind of an acquired taste, like a gin and tonic, or the poetry of Rilke, or the latter films of Mel Brooks. But I always say, you can't comment on the scenery unless you take the trip.
Poets sing how Pancho fell. The Lefty's living in a cheap hotel. The desert's quiet and Cleveland's cold. And so the story goes, we're told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, but save a few for Lefty too. He just did what he had to do, and now he's growing old.
It's like, if you take a picture out in the middle of nowhere, odds are it's ugly. Tumbleweeds and dust, cacti and cattle. But when you drive across it, something cathartic starts to happen. You see stuff that's not really there. Or maybe it was there the whole time and you had to drive for 17 hours just to see it. When you drive from Orange to El Paso, did anybody here drive to the Kerrville Folk Festival? You know how those barren bluffs start going on forever? And as soon as you start getting hypnotized, some bug will hit your windshield just below the belt of Orion, and you look to the sky, and you see our lives, this highway, those stars, as being both vast and tiny. It's like Horton Hears a Who. Did you ever read that one? Only in reverse. And the elephant is traipsing around the galaxy, getting the stars to shout at once, "We are here, we are here." So we at the Kerrville Folk Festival will know that heaven is out there.
Now the fellow riders say you could have had him any day. They just let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose.
'Cause the road does go on forever.
Now the fellow riders say
just like our
they
lives.
could have had him any day.
And the poetry of Rilke.
Just let him slip away.
And the music
kindness, I
of Blaze
suppose.
Foley.